Hey, everybody. I had the opportunity to go sit down with Ben Aiken over at Lamar United Methodist Church and had a wonderful conversation. And I wanted to share it with you today. So, Ben, I'd like to start by thanking you for taking a little time this afternoon after church to visit with me. As you know, we're doing this series of videos just to allow some folks outside the church to get to know us a little better. So,
Thank you for having me.
first, once again, thank you for sending your story to me. It was really good. It was really good. And it was moving. And so I wonder if you'd just like to talk a little about that.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I started out in the Episcopal Church. My dad took me and my brother and sister and my mom. We all went to the Episcopalian Church in Russellville. And that's how we started out. We had communion every week, and I'd sit next to my dad and I would listen to him pray, and especially the Lord's Prayer. So every time I do the Lord's Prayer with everyone, I hear his voice saying it, and I find myself sounding like him almost, because he's got a certain rhythm and a tone to his voice that it's been with me ever since the very beginning. And then we went to Clarksville Methodist Church, where most of my mom's family went, and we'd sit in a row, and it was a little bigger and didn't have communion every week like we did in the Episcopalian, but we all got baptized there. And that's where I met some of my lifelong friends, because their families, and I don't know, this Thanksgiving we spoke with Don Pennington a lot, because he joined us for Thanksgiving, and he kind of illustrated how a lot of the families around Clarksville are all kind of related in a way, and it was interesting how it all kind of tied into the Methodist Church also. There were the Frosts and the Kings and the Wades and Aikens who joined the Wades. So in a way, all of our friends and family were linked through the Methodist Church. And my grandmother, Leslie Wade, and grandmother, we call her Mimi, Jane Wade, were like I don't know, they were like our rock. And they were like the rock of the First United Methodist Church for me. And, we made a lot of music. We had a lot of family and friends in the choir, and I sang with the choir and played in the handbells throughout college and everything. Even though I didn't necessarily go to church as much, I still made it to choir practice and bell practice. And then I guess I didn't go as much, and life happened, and I had my baby girl, and she has taught me so much, and I learned so much from those times, and things that are good, things that are bad, but I mean, it really made me who I am. And eventually I made my way back to church in 2019, and that's when both of my grandparents died. Leslie and Jane both passed away, and that's when my daughter's mom passed away too. And so 2019 was a really difficult year for faith for me.
And Job moment.
Yes, it was. And I definitely found myself tested and looking for some kind of sign. A lot of things changed. A lot of people came in who I didn't know. A lot of people left who I did know. And I just decided that I needed to take a break from church. And so I just focused on work. and I worked at the nursing home, and that was right before COVID happened. So I guess in between my grandparents passing away and COVID, you came into my life, and I was doing activities with Jennifer. I was activity director, especially in the Alzheimer's and dementia unit of the nursing home where your mom was. And something I can say about everybody I met was they just loved music, especially the old-timey hymns, and your mom knew all of them and was singing all of them whenever we'd play. And I think that was kind of a fortuitous situation, or I think it was meant to be, because that's how I was able to meet you during one of the musical sessions I was having with your mom, and I just, that's exactly what I needed, because I was leaving my lifelong church, that it was so big now, and what I really needed was a smaller sized church that was welcoming and that was warm, and that showed me that I don't have to lose faith in everything, and that I could use some of my music to help with this too. And it was really a good thing that you were able to stop by that day and hear me playing and throw a proposition toward me.
Well, I've never told you my side of that story. And when I was appointed a pastor here, the Sunday before my first Sunday, the piano player retired. And so, we started off, and she had been here a long time. She was a member of the church, but she lived in Russellville, and she just hit the point that she didn't feel like making that drive anymore. And they had never had a paid person on staff to do music. And so this was kind of new for the church, but we talked about it, and they decided they would be good with that. And so I started doing everything I could think. I was calling the local colleges and seeing if they had a music student, and everything I did came up dry. And like so many things we do in our life, we tend to put our effort first and prayer last, when that's really the opposite of what we should do. But I hit the point where I just prayed for God to help me find the right person to come in here. And then I go in to visit my mom, and there you are. And it just washed all over me. And then when I walked up to you and said, hey, I pastor this church, would you be interested in playing? And I was expecting to have to start selling you, and it was just an instant yes. And I think that was an answer to prayer both ways, Ben.
Mm-hmm. That's what I was looking for sure, and I'm glad that was what you were searching for too.
Absolutely. So tell me about what music has meant to you when it comes to your faith.
I mean, we've had music in our lives the whole time, and since we were little, and I don't know, my sister sings, my brother sings, my father sings. It's just been kind of our way of expressing ourselves.
It's in your DNA.
Yeah, it is, and it's brought people together. It's a medicine. It's something that I use as therapy, in my work with the nursing home, because I know that it sparks memories in people who have dementia and Alzheimer's. It takes them back to good times, and it opens up, scientifically, it opens up parts of the brain that were closed. It lights up parts of the brain that were dark. But it also works with everyone. It works with me if I hear something like, for instance, got the joy, 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 joy down in my heart. I know exactly where I was when I learned that, and I was probably in kindergarten or less. I think I was at the Presbyterian Church here in Clarksville, just for a Sunday or a vacation Bible school, and they were teaching us that. And so one of the big songs was In the Garden, even more than Amazing Grace, which was kind of surprising to me because I thought Amazing Grace, that would be the top. But In the Garden, everybody I sang to or sang with, after a while they started saying, oh wait, I remember this song really well, and to the point where they could sing all the words. And I think that's how it is with my grandmother, who's here, at church with us now. And she says In the Garden is just one of her favorites of all time. And, I try to use it in every way I can in my jobs, so I started teaching music at kindergarten, 12th grade in Deer and Mount Judy at the beginning of this year. And it's brought something new to the table every time. So for a lot of those folks, sometimes they may not have heard like a piano concerto, and two of my online students volunteered to play a couple piano songs that they've been working on for their piano guild, and they're just like in fourth and sixth grade. Yeah. And so when they got to the spring program at Deer, and they were playing for everybody, all the kids that I've been working with were their jaws are dropping because it's like wow, and it's like something beautiful just flew into the room, and I thought wow, this is the life I've been immersed in my whole life, but a lot of people haven't, and that kind of beauty, I want to bring that kind of beauty to everyone.
The amazing thing is you were talking about when you were young and you were going to the Episcopal Church, which I'm going to take a quick side turn here just a moment. When my oldest daughter was a music major over at Arkansas Tech, and her little sisters were in band over at Dover, the person who was tutoring my daughter Jennifer in flute and was the flute professor for my oldest daughter Nicole attended that Episcopal church, and so I kind of think of it as a haven for music in a way. But when you were over there and you think about the Lord's Prayer and you hear it in your Father's voice and you pick that up from Him, that's you now, and that's you with music with these kids. And you're planting those seeds and putting those memories and those things into the next generation. That's a really cool thing. It really is. We grow up being mentored, and then we become mentors.
Yeah, that's true. I guess that's true with Cora too. Because she'll sit by me sometimes, and in church, and I know that she's learned the Lord's Prayer from listening, every week.
She can sing too.
Yeah, yeah, she's got a sweet voice.
Yes, she does.
And she tries to, you can tell she hears, the melody, and she wants to match it. So she learns really quickly, and I think that's a good thing.
So at this stage in your life, Ben, what does your faith mean to your life today?
Well, it kind of brings everything back together. I know that, we live in kind of a chaotic world, and things are changing all the time, and, there's a lot of emotions everywhere, and uncertainty, and I'm just really pleased that Dad started to come to church.
I am too.
And my grandma, and
yes.
It feels right to have us all together, in church.
It feels right to me too. I love having all of you guys here. So anybody who is out there who does not have a church family, or doesn't have that faith. And I don't know how people go through this world today without that rock to anchor in during the storm. I mean, what would you have to say to them today? What advice would you give them?
I know that no matter what, people turn to something. You know, they'll always have something to anchor onto, and a lot of the times it's not the right thing to anchor onto. Sometimes it's it's just something that they put their faith into. And I know that a lot of people are scared to come to church or don't want to come to church because I know they see a lot of judgment, out there. But the truth is, some churches are like that, but a lot of them aren't. And a lot of people a lot of churches are full of people who are just full of love and care about people. For instance, the food drive, that the church was involved in, and now the toy drive. It's just, if you look at it, you can see the people that are helping other people, and that's what really matters. That's what really makes a difference, is the people who love each other and are helping out other people. That shows you that it's a good thing, and that it's a family. It doesn't necessarily have to be a big church. I like the smaller churches. I like the smaller congregations because it feels like a family.
It is. You can't hide in the back of a small church. It's easier to get connected, I think. But you're right. A lot of people, when they don't go to church and they haven't had that experience, they think of judgment and people being judgmental. And when I think of church, I think of something more like an AA meeting, because we're all broken. We all are. And, we all need a Savior, and we all need the support of each other. And I definitely need your support, and I'm so glad you're here, and I'm so glad to be here for you. And thank you for sitting down and talking to me, Ben.
Thank you, sir, and I'm glad to be here too, and I'm glad my family's here with us, and that we're all family.
Yes, sir.